Mikayla Nogueira, the beauty TikToker, she moved recently into what she's called her dream home.
We're moving!
3 months ago, Cody and I bought a new house, and I'm so excited that I can actually share this with you.
And she's documented the entire process of moving. This particular topic has been top of mind as I made content about moving and overconsumption just a few weeks ago. And in some ways, her content exemplifies that because we got to see her document the whole thing, the unpacking and the shopping. And there was a lot of shopping for her new place. She built a custom beauty room and multiple walk-in closets. It is fascinating to watch a very expensive $1 million home come together. And I'm not above saying that part of my interest was a bit of curiosity. But today's topic we're covering not because of some curiosity, but because how this kind of content subtly or not so subtly influences our own ideas of what it means to make it. Mikayla is in a financial position that most of her followers aren't, but this content still influences her followers and it impacts people's perception of success, home life, what people can or should aspire to, or like what is aspiring content. And my video today and her content isn't really about the home itself and people trying to emulate this home. It's about what this content represents. There will be discourse of overconsumption in this video, but what is interwoven with that and is perhaps the more interesting topic is about ideas of success, making it, and what these things look like and what aspiring to these things means or looks like too. Now we're going to start with their first home purchase in 2022. But before we get there, I do want to say that there are parts to this. And part of this moving context that I am not going to be covering. There are a lot of speculations right now about like who bought the home and her relationship with her partner. Her relationship with her partner is none of my business. And I do not want to speculate about the success of the relationship or the health of the relationship or what that means. And what I'm circling around here is addiction. And I am not talking about it. It is a relevant topic to talk about. And I think that there are certain channels, people who have more specific backgrounds in like addiction, there are perhaps relevant things that they may talk about. But in terms of my knowledge and my channel and what I do here, I am not that person. And it's not really relevant to today's topic. I don't know if you're going to find it a glaring hole or something that I should have spoken about, but I just really do not want to speculate about their relationship or like how somebody is doing. That's not what I'm here for. And the ties to like overconsumption or like wealth or things like that are somewhat tenuous. We're going to leave it at that. Let's get into the video. In 2022, Mikayla and her partner, Cody, purchased their first home together in Massachusetts. According to Allure, the home cost $2.5 million. It was a custom-built home. It has or had 6 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, a gaming room for Cody, and a full beauty room for Mikayla. And Mikayla said in one video, they had laundry on every floor.
I love that there is laundry on every floor. The appliances came with the house, and I absolutely love this washer and dryer. Some of the rooms have really tall cathedral ceilings and plenty of room for all my shoes in these absolutely beautiful walk-in closets in the bedroom. And you know I fell in love with this house the minute I saw this steam shower with a rainfall shower head and a bench. I get to sit if I want when I take a shower, and double sinks for Cody and I.
At the time, she posted a tearful video speaking about how surreal it was to buy her first home at 23. She felt like she would never be able to buy a home, let alone so young. And buying a first home is considered a major life milestone in North America. And it's also a marker of success. Like in and of itself, buying a first home, like regardless of where it is, or what kind of home it is, this is typically considered a major life milestone and a metric of success. A lot of people measure their own success or how they consider their lives on some figures or on some metrics, and buying a home is typically in that metric. And even if you don't subscribe to this idea of milestones or the ones that society has deemed to be milestones, like graduating college or graduating university, getting your first job, getting married, having kids, buying a home, like you may not want all of these things, but these are things that society has dubbed success. And I think a lot of people internalize these ideas, or at least like consider them or push back against them, but a lot of people know that they are ideals. But Mikayla's first home was, in her eyes, success. But it wasn't just success. It is also a marker of wealth. If I had a checklist of what I would think a marker or metric of wealth was, I would probably put $1 million home, or I'm saying $1 million home in this case, to mean like anything above $1 million. And the cost of a home and like all of that is super subjective. Like the average cost of a home in Canada is like $700,000. And in certain neighborhoods, like I'm not even talking downtown Toronto. I live in Ontario. Housing prices is very expensive here. Like in literal random neighborhoods, housing is like $1 million. It's so crazy, the cost of homes here. Anyway, buying a home over $1 million, I think, is something a lot of people consider to be a metric of wealth, but also having that home be $2.5 million, also, I think, a metric of wealth. So even before the dream home that she's in now, she had already crossed a threshold that a lot of people wouldn't and don't in their life. That home, that $2.5 million home, would already be like a dream home for a lot of people. A few months ago, she moved from that home into a much larger home and more expensive. Her new home it's not quite double the price, $4.3 million, 9,300 square feet. There's like 7 bedrooms. Like there's more bedrooms, there's more bathrooms. It's just bigger. It's big. It's a big home. It's much more luxurious. Even if it's not your taste, a lot of people have been criticizing your home because they think it's gaudy or not to your taste. I can put that aside and I can admit this is like, there is no denying that it's luxury. It's luxurious. The inside of the home. The kitchen has a built-in wine bar. That is and a built-in coffee bar. Built-ins, customization, Her home is something like you would see in a design magazine or a movie or a set. And I think that part is interesting. And I really bet that she factored that into the purchase because her home is, in a way, a set for her job. So she documented the whole moving in process. And I do gotta say, she has amazing friends who helped her move and unpack over what appears to be multiple days. And just because she post the TikToks on the days that she posts them doesn't mean that they did it all in that day. But her friends were there for multiple days. And I think that's great commitment and a sign of great friendship to be able to and willing to help your friend move for multiple days. And in this unpacking content, we get to see a lot of stuff. A lot of things we probably wouldn't have gotten to see if it weren't for the move. So one of the videos we see is her setting up her closet with her. Let's actually watch that now.
I had a lot of clothes, but I had no idea it was this much. Clearly, I have a problem. Look at my new closet. This is like quadruple the size of my old one. And it has a vanity in it. And I got this cute white velvet chair to go with it. Let's fill this closet. Now, we truly did our best to organize this as much as possible. I'm talking color-coded, organized by sleeve length. While Sydney and I worked on my side, Adam and Cody worked on his side, and it was coming along. And hey, I don't want to see a single comment about the hangers not matching. Okay, now's not the time. Sydney was getting so frustrated with how much clothes there was. I mean, it was ridiculous. But we put on some music, and we were having a good time getting it done. Sydney was absolutely shocked at how many dresses I have. I'm definitely a dress kind of gal. We ended up having to put some in drawers because we ran out of room to hang them. And I was so grateful to have so much help. I had my friend Greg Wang and Michael doing my pants. While they did the pants, I did all the sports bras and leggings. And I was impressed at how incredible Michael and Greg made my pants look. This looks like a storefront. It kind of reminded me of old school Hollister. I cannot wait to give you a full tour of this closet. It's
Like Girly Pop and her friends are like reacting at the beginning, obviously rehearsed, and you see all the clothes going in the closet, and she says she has quadrupled the space that she did in her previous closet. We're gonna talk about that comment later. And then the next day, she posts this video about her shoes. So I'm not going to play the audio over top. It's somebody speaking, and I think I'm going to get copyrighted for it. And it says, I think I'm obsessed with this, or everyone thinks I'm obsessed with this. And I am obsessed with it, but it's an obsession I don't think is hurting anybody, right? It's supposed to be a joke. I'm obsessed. You know, I'm obsessed with shoes. I love clothes. I love shoes. As we talked about ad nauseum on this channel, it's not a joke. It's joking about overconsumption. And it's ultimately saying that having a deep and expensive relationship with stuff, especially luxury stuff, is harmless. Buying this much stuff is harmless. Haha. It doesn't hurt anybody. Now, if the first walk-in closet wasn't enough, she decides to build a second walk-in closet.
It is my dream to have a walk-in closet, so the room behind me is being completely transformed into my dream walk-in closet.
I'm just gonna play the clip. It's just like a tour of her stuff, like a tour of the closet. Just multiple videos of her like updating it. Like, oh, there's update on the closet. I'll just show you the last one. Custom built second walk-in closet, and it's not even like one is hers and one is Cody's. And she was like, oh, I've always wanted a walk-in closet. Her first home had a walk-in closet. This home also has a walk-in closet, and she's building another one. I don't know what she means by like, she's never had a walk-in closet or a walk-in closet like this. Like, girl, your closet's a room. The irony of all of this is that when she moved into her first home, she said that her closet had plenty of room for all of her stuff.
Ceilings and plenty of room for all my shoes in these absolutely beautiful walk-in closets in the bedroom. I had a lot of clothes, but I had no idea it was this much. Clearly I have a problem. Look at my new closet. This is like quadruple the size of my old one.
That clip did not age well because it wasn't plenty of room. And the reason why it's not plenty of room is because, in my opinion, the more your wealth increases, or what we see, I should say, is the more somebody's wealth increases, the more stuff they have, the more stuff they accumulate. As she has acquired more wealth, her particular consumption patterns have increased with it. Hi, Editing Shauna here. It's not just that her consumption has increased over time. It's also that in these videos, and overall I think in her channel too, but particularly this series, is glamorizing overconsumption. It's making it look just so ideal, so fun, and so aesthetic. And just like, what are the downsides? You know, it's just, you get this amazing closet and you have these amazing clothes. You get to basically buy whatever you want. And it's all just romanticized and glamorized and really painting it as this amazing thing and something that is so ideal. This entire closet series or mini series is also just emphasizing how much stuff she has at every turn. Wow, they're shocked that I have so much stuff. They turn it into a store. You literally do not need an entire wall of jeans. Like, you're not an Abercrombie, and your closet doesn't need to be one either. We're going to talk more about overconsumption. This is the section for it. So let's continue. It's not just more stuff, it's more space for your stuff. One of the things that just bothers me personally about homes, this is my own opinion, that homes can very quickly become containers for your stuff instead of living spaces. And the wealthier you are, the more normal that is. There is something unsettling about so much wealth being flaunted in a particularly precarious time, economically, I mean. But that's not really her reality, though. And when we see content like this, we can't see how insulated wealthy people are from some of these struggles that everyday people go through. And what's more about this, and I guess to maybe transition to more about this being about her life, it's not just her life, it is a content strategy. Like if we think about, even if we just think about like a performative standpoint, that video with all the shoes, she had to unbox all the shoes and then lay out all the shoes for the video. Your shoes don't end up in neatly lined piles. That's not like a natural thing for somebody to do when they're moving. And her move was content. To speak more about this, in May, for all of May until about the 19th, she had 0 disclosed ads. I do believe that there is at least one undisclosed ad in that period, but there are no disclosed ads. And starting on May 19th, between May 19th and May 22nd, she posts 11 videos, and at least one video a day is an ad. Or sorry, she has 5 sponsored posts in 4 days. And then she's silent from May 23rd to May 28th. And then on May 29th, she starts uploading again. My guess is that the moving period was 23rd to the 28th. And she took those ads and more ads than normal to offset the cost of moving or her not posting while she's moving. And while she is not producing content like normal, she produced the content that she could produce, which was moving content. If she films it all, then it becomes like a content farm for her to use while she's like unable to do regular things. I think there's a second layer here of the moving content itself, building some kind of emotional intimacy with her audience. Because moving is typically something you only would see or experience with close friends or family. Like watching somebody pack up their life and move is like I don't know, I feel like an intimate thing to observe. And it also humanizes them, I think. And Mikayla is so widely criticized and she is so polarizing, and she does have an authenticity problem. She really does try to come across as authentic. And one of the things that like when I was watching or reading articles about her, people kept calling her authentic, like even in 2023 and 2024, which is like, you know, a bit of PR fluff, I think, and saying like she cusses in her videos is like that's a nod to authenticity, and like just her style of video is supposed to be authentic, but she, I think, is so inauthentic that people don't like her for that. However, I think showcasing the moving content is a way to humanize her. Maybe not authentic, but maybe more humanizing, because like moving is a relatively universal experience. Stress and, you know, get to see behind the scenes and kind of the stuff that happens, even if where she's moving is not relatable at all, because it's not. And so I think this move was a tool to humanize her. And also she's been getting a lot of heat for her beauty brand. And I think this is also a way to take a bit of a break from that. And I do not think for a second that this was not content strategy. Editing Shauna here. I'm going to conclude this segment by reinforcing this idea that whether or not this emotional intimacy has been achieved is, you know, that's going to be subjective. But I think somebody's attempt at trying to be personal with their audience is like, that's calculated, y'all. And the performance of real life serves the creator economy. Even if you're not being sold something directly, like even if you're not being sold the affiliate links for all the stuff that she bought at Target, or, you know, pitching you the person who built her custom wardrobes, or having some kind of affiliate link with IKEA, you're still being sold something here. And all of this is part of the curation of content and an influencer's life, how they appear and how they look and how they act. Influencers are influencing even when they're moving, even when they're having real life moments. But you're still being sold something, and we're still being sold something. And And what exactly that is going to be a discussion for our last segment. So stay tuned. She also brings us shopping with her. She brings us to Home Goods and HomeSense and to Target. They fill up 2 baskets at Target. The Target haul was kind of interesting. And then she goes to like Home Goods, HomeSense, which are stores that average people have access to, that people do go when they're looking for moving stuff. And so we see her shop a ton, which is an entire experience that that influencers like to do when they move. And a lot of people like that fresh start feeling and go shopping just because they're moving. If you want to hear more about that phenomena, you can go check out my video on that. They also do a trip to Ulta, big haul, and they label this as Ultra trip for the household essentials, but they're buying stuff to do the guest bathroom restock. They buy hundreds of dollars worth of beauty products for the bathroom. Like, we've already seen her do this in other videos.
Told me I need to go to
You
Ulta.
know we're getting her in the Ulta. Come on
We're
now.
going to Ulta. My safe space right here. We really need shampoo and conditioner. I'm kind of obsessed with this bottle. Beautiful. This is why we need men. Get 4 of the Sol de Janeiro body washes for the guest bathrooms. I think we'll do Saltaire for the body washes in the guest bathroom.
It's already getting heavy.
Put body lotions in all the guest bathrooms. Poor man, look at this. I really want to try Sacred. I'm obsessed with this packaging. I'm going to get the shampoo condish. I'm a big fan of Briogeo. The Don't Despair Repair. Thinking Redken is good for all the guest bathrooms. It's a classic.
Because most people dye their hair.
Ma'am, men? He's bald.
He's not washing
I
his
don't
hair.
use any shampoo.
Oh, true. All soft is, a good go-to. We'll do a mix. Dermalogic face wash for all the showers. Special cleansing gel is the best. Told me I.
It's such a weird video. Like, it's just so much stuff. It's so much stuff, so much beauty stuff. And another interesting thing to kind of wrap up this consumption section is that she said she sold all of her furniture.
Movers arrived at 8 a.m. sharp, got right to work. We had a lot of boxes, a little bit of furniture because I sold most of it.
But that, I feel like, is such an influencer thing to do unless you're moving across the country, which she's not. Because if she sells all of her furniture, what does that mean? I mean, she gets to buy an entire new set of furniture to furnish her new house so she can curate a whole new aesthetic. It's more shopping. This is a development that normalizes, or attempts to anyway, buying all new things because you're moving. And no, I don't think an average person can do that, but it feeds into that narrative of go buy stuff because you're moving. Oh, and don't worry, we also get the restocking content too, because her home comes with a coffee bar and she restocks the coffee bar and she restocks one of the wine fridges. Like, we get so much stuff content here. So to wrap up this section, when I was talking about the authenticity, like, she does have an authenticity problem. Moving into a $4 million home is completely out of touch and out of reality for so many people. And that is what I think makes videos like hers fascinating to watch. Seeing how, as some people say, like, the other half live. Seeing how the rich people live. Seeing like what a rich person's house looks like is interesting. I've never seen a $4 million home before. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, and I think that there's some rubbernecking going on. But then she goes and shops at Target and Ulta and Home Goods. While people would not be purchasing in quantities like her, I think it kind of gives people a slice of things, of content that is relatable, or give people a slice of things that they could recreate. Like her whole coffee bar setup, that's something that you could recreate. Let's now talk about the symbolism of the home. And her house is very much a symbol, like a very, in my opinion anyway, a very overt, in your face symbol of wealth and making it. It literally represents success, I think, for her, because her very first home was that in her eyes. She was able to purchase it because of her place on TikTok. Where I'm going with this is that I think there's this expectation that the rich should and do own luxury homes, nice cars, lots of stuff. It comes to be an expectation of sorts. And luxury, expensive things, overconsumption, owning a lot of stuff, revolving door of products in a way, gigantic closets. Gigantic closets was really kind of sticking out to me. All of this is okay when it comes to the rich somehow. A lot of people say it's their money. They earned it. They can do what they want with it. And then it's the expectation, I think, that the rich people will own big ass homes. That's what rich people, they just do. And then those rich people then make content and then aestheticize their home and their lifestyle and make it aspirational. They feed us back that dream. I think some of the discourse maybe around Mikayla or rich people in general is like, of course they're rich. Of course they'd have a home like that. Or of course they'd have a closet like that. And when it's shared online, it can normalize a version of success that is tied to consumption. Buying a home is still consumption. Buying cars, it's still consumption. And for viewers, it can normalize the idea that the end goal of it all, the end goal of all the money, is this stuff. You hustle and you work for this stuff. The more money you make, the more stuff you can buy. The bigger the stuff you can buy, the better the stuff you can buy. And all of that is still a narrative of stuff. What's happening with Mikayla is not abnormal. What I mean by that is when people get money, she is behaving very much in a way that people do when they get money. If you were to win millions of dollars, if a lot of people were to win millions of dollars, a lot of people are going to go out and buy the home or buy stuff, I should say. When luxury is normalized as well, it can make whatever home you're in, and beautiful homes that service us and nourish us and house us, feel inadequate. The scale of Mikayla's home isn't just aspirational. It's literally designed to sell us aspiration because it's a backdrop for her life. She literally filmed a point of view beauty ad in her master bathroom. It is so beautiful, and it is so, it's so beautiful. It's the kind of bathroom that people like you would see in a movie or in like a bathroom advertisement, depending on the vibe of the ad. And that is exactly what she's doing. There is nothing wrong with wanting to upgrade your space or wanting better for yourself or for your family. Let's take just a practical element. You have 2 kids, now you have 3 kids. Families, if they can afford it, may want to get a bigger home because they're having more children. Wanting better isn't a problem, but what this whole conversation, like what I'm getting at, is better being defined by stuff and wealth being defined by stuff and selling us this dream. Success and happiness literally hinging on stuff. I talk about influencers and aspiration all the time on the channel, and a lot of influencer culture is meant to be aspirational, but a lot of that is done through aesthetics. And we see, like when I look at comments for all kinds of videos and all kinds of creators, sorry, that's an airplane. People view hygiene rooms and hygiene closets and perfume rooms and skincare rooms and makeup rooms and overall buying more stuff as aspirational. And people aspire to consume like that, which is tying wealth to stuff or tying stuff to wealth. This is another version of that. And it's desiring to be wealthy, to own more things and to have bigger homes and viewing that as the ticket of success and wealth and happiness in life. It is still defining happiness, I think, through stuff and through things. The more our lives cost, the more our lives are hinged to our income. And stuff and bigger things, better things aren't inherently going to make us happy or make us love our lives. Yeah, certain things would be nice to have and like cool. It would be cool to travel more. I think a lot of people would have fun in that. Or people would like more space in their bedroom or a bigger kitchen. But overall, stuff is not going to make us love our lives or appreciate our lives. You're not going to appreciate your things more because you have more money. In fact, the hamster wheel can happen. The more room you have to buy more things, the more you can buy more things, and you're not appreciating what you have. We don't have to view the 9,000 square foot home or having 2 walk-in closets as the definition of wealth, success, or happiness. That doesn't need to be a dream. At what point is the importance of our home to store our things opposed to live our lives, or to be status symbols and to be markers of our wealth or our place in society. And I'm not saying that she can't afford her home, but in a different respect, there are people who own really nice, expensive cars who can't afford them because of the way that they want to look. And it becomes more about appearing and having people look at you a certain way instead of actually being able to afford those things. So this is a conversation I wanted to have today, and it's very okay to watch content vicariously, maybe a little nosily, cheekily watching the content, how does somebody else live? What does their home look like? That's cool. And if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't get any FOMO or jealousy or compare and despair, I think you're good. But what I think is ultimately what I hope has been clear in this video so far has just been thinking about how the content that we watch, how that reinforces our perceptions of normalcy, wealth, success, and happiness. Because all of that, I think, is reinforced in this moving series. Thank you so much for watching and being here today. I would love it if you would subscribe to catch more content like this, and I would love to see you again around here soon for a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.